has gone.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
That's why I kept delaying asking you, can I record?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. If you have to give a message to the readers about this book, impersonal, okay, not trying to sell anything to them.
Yep.
However, to the prospective readers, why should they read the book and what could they expect which is different from other books? As a translator, what would you say?
As a translator?
Yes. Why would somebody pick up this book? And what would they get out of it? What is so different?
Maybe the way I'm going to phrase it is going to be completely different from what people usually expect from a recommendation. But it's a kind of book where you are being given the liberty of not having to know that you are using the book properly because the book waits for you. This is something extraordinary. You just read books, read the pages, you don't mind them, but at the same time you cannot relate to the story, and suddenly you hit the moment that hits you. So it's very sinusoid, and it's relaxing in terms of not being continuous or consistent in terms of its impact. It's very natural in terms of this roller coaster-like character. It's peaceful, and then it prepares you for some kind of revelation, and then once you have recovered from the revelation, while still reading, you move on to something run-of-the-mill spiritually to some extent, and you know that sooner or later you will hit yet another salient point. So it's this dynamic and diversified psychological profile, or the distribution of discoveries. It's not something like a whodunit that keeps you in suspense 24/7. No. It allows you to relax. So it's another interesting dimension. So you don't relax because someone tells you to relax, but it relaxes you because you read the pages, and even though you cannot pinpoint the source of this relaxation, it does happen. And maybe this is a kind of relaxation that prepares you for the discoveries. Maybe this is. So it's a very interesting dimension, because very often we are hell-bent on finding something in the book. And it must be dynamically, it must represent this unstoppable onslaught of excitement. No. So it's a very unexciting book in the positive sense. It's very unexciting in terms of not draining you of energy, but at the same time it replenishes you with some interesting discoveries. And interestingly, it's very personalizing, but personalizing not in terms of encouraging your self-affirmation, but personalizing in terms of it's me. If I am to change the world, I have to start with myself. If you are in some kind of conflict or feud with others, you know that you cannot start with them because it doesn't work. And even though you explicitly mentioned this particular entry, and quite interestingly, when I was going over the book in terms of double checking if I had not omitted anything, the places that had been omitted advertised themselves on their own. I don't know how. I never count the bullets, but there was one occasion on which I counted the bullets. And I had omitted one important entry about the relationships. It was about don't expect others or presume that others will not change. And that was a very important discovery for me. So that brings me to yet another interesting characterization. There is some living quality to the book. It just adjusts to you rather than you having to adjust to the book. Because usually therapy-related books tell you do this, do that. Even though instruction-wise you get instructions in the book, there is no oppressive compulsion to the instructions. So verbally, the surface structure is about encouragement, but the deep structure in terms of the reciprocity is fully up to you. Which leads to yet another element. It's about liberation, so freedom. You're free to do whatever you want. So I think that was the reason why I was capable to translate the book, even though it represents this depersonalized definition of divinity. Because I found the optionality, which is another interesting element. There was no radicalism, there was no dogmatic character to the book. You may do so, you have a choice. And you sense the presence of the choice all the time. What I was amazed by was this interesting instance of the woman who came over for some kind of consultation because she had been having some problems forgetting her former husband who had left her. That was incredible because it shows that the word shift or the word change is not about cognitive changes only, but it's about behavioral, aspirational changes as well. And what I couldn't relate to in those affirmations was the need to reiterate them or to repeat them for a couple of times. But maybe when you are assisted by someone, or when it's like, assisted rather than supervised, maybe it's much easier because you put some trust into the person who is facilitating you. And I believe that without trust, this kind of material is absolutely pointless or absolutely irrelevant because I don't know how to rationalize it, but the word trust is a very important label here.
Faith.
Huh?
My word would be faith, because
Faith.
there is a difference between faith and trust. You mean faith, trust.
I mean trust in the facilitator's goodwill or facilitator's good intentions. It's
Okay.
not about trickery. It's not about some kind of